So it's Friday, January 12th. Here are the three big stories for today. So we woke up this morning and the US and UK had carried out strikes against Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen. And President Joe Biden said that he ordered the strikes in direct response to unprecedented Houthi attacks against international maritime vessels in the Red Sea, as well as attacks against US forces. There have been dozens of attacks against US forces since October 7th. Air Force's Central Commander, Lieutenant General Alex Grenovich, initially said that the U.S. and coalition forces struck over 60 targets with more than 100 precision-guided munitions at 16 Iranian-backed Houthi militant locations. The Houthi assets included command and control nodes, munitions depots, launching systems, production facilities, air defense radar systems, etc. Friday afternoon, Director of the Joint Staff, Lieutenant General Douglas Sims, said that another 12 locations were also hit on Thursday after near immediate decision following initial strikes. Okay, so here's where the strikes are. It's in Yemen. So ships are having a hard time getting through the Red Sea out, and they have to go around Africa as a consequence. And so tamping that down is a good thing. If you don't tamp that down, you encourage more bad behavior, and we don't want to do that. Not surprisingly, the Kremlin condemns the illegal US-UK attacks in Yemen. We condemn them, Peskov said when asked about the action during a media briefing. The UN Security Council resolution gives no right for strikes, and consequently they are illegitimate under international law, unless you're being attacked, and then it's a right of self-defense. But he didn't say that. Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova described the Russian position that U.S. activities at the UN Security Council were just a pretext for further escalation in the region. Okay. We also found that the U.K. pledges thousands of military drones for Ukraine in historic security deal. So Sunak came and visited. He pledged 2.5 billion pounds or $3.2 billion. That on top of Germany's recent stepping up and other countries within Europe. So they'll be fine for a little while here until the U.S. can kind of get their act together. I'm here with one clear message. The United Kingdom stands with Ukraine, he said, after touring damaged buildings in the Ukrainian capital. At least 200 million of the latest aid package is to be spent on a major push to rapidly procure and produce thousands of military drones. Drones are the wave of the future. I've said this many times. There's no news there. Nothing new about that. Russia attacks arrogant British after Sunak's visit. Here's what Medvedev had to say about that. Medvedev responded, "I hope that our eternal enemies, the arrogant British, cannot understand that deploying an official military contingent to Ukraine would be a declaration of war against our country." Well, nobody's saying that. Nobody's calling for that. So, okay, last article, no big Russian offensive predicted in Ukraine, according to Igor Girkin. Now, this is just one man's opinion, but I think there's something to it. He's saying that, and he's writing from prison, he suggested that the nation's forces will be short of men needed to mount any large-scale attacks until mobilization restarted. And there'll be no mobilization until the elections for sure, and we all agree on that. And then they'll try to patch up the holes in the ranks until then, and that means in turn that in the spring we'll have no one and nothing which can attack, and then you have to wait. So there's a lag in there. And while it's just this one man's opinion, I think he's right. Tell me what you think about that. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscribes, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.